Welcome to Surviving to Thriving with Clare Downham, where I share insights on the inside-out nature of life so you can stop the inner critic running the show and step into thriving in every aspect of your life. I hope you find this episode helpful. Hi there. Just doing this video right now because I really want you to understand what's going on when you believe you're a fraud, which all of us do sometimes, don't we? All the time. And what's been really interesting this morning is that this video has been made. Well, you'll know we're in the run up to International Women's Day, which is on the 8th of March. And I've just been in a networking event where we were talking about what's holding women back. What is holding women back? Now, this video isn't just for women because this thing I talk about that makes us feel like a fraud, that makes us feel like we're not supposed to be where we are in life, it is there for men too. This is not just something that affects women. I suspect it's different between men and women, but I speak to people all the time about this inner critical voice, and it shows up in a very similar way for both genders. It says different things, I think, just because we've been brought up in different ways, probably between men and women, but it says very similar things. And one of the things I think it says very prominently, whether that is because you're in some kind of career where you are rising up the ladder and getting closer and closer to the top of the ladder, or you're in a business and you have to do things, don't you? In that business, you have to share content like I'm doing right now. You have to put yourself out there. You have to say things perhaps that are a little bit different to what everybody else is saying. You have to explore all these things of these ways of putting yourself out there and sharing your message and sharing it from your authentic essence, as it were. And so often, as we go to do that, there is a predictability to this screaming, angry, cruel, rude voice in our head that says, I don't think you can do that. No, don't do that. Do not do that. You are going to get judged. You are going to get taken down. People are going to put rude comments on whatever it is you're doing. And so we stop. We stop moving forward. We stop doing those things that we actually do really want to do. We just freeze. And there is like I say, there's a real predictability to that somebody once called the predictable BS. Dominic Scavini, who I love listening to and learning from, said there's a predictability to that BS, that voice that says you're a fraud. Some of us might call that imposter syndrome, but it's just another voice from the inner critic. It's just another form of that type of inner critical nonsense that most of us experience at some point. And what's really interesting for me is about this is that it invariably shows up as you expand, as you grow into your more authentic expression of you, whether that is in your business, in your career, whatever it is. That's when it will come in and say, no, you can't do that. You're a fraud. People are going to find out you don't know what you're talking about. Don't share your message publicly. Don't do things out there because and don't apply for that promotion. Don't ask that person. I mean, this is just across so much of our life. There's a voice saying you're a fraud. You're not supposed to be doing that. Now, and until you start looking at this, I think for many years I thought that was me. I thought that voice was me. That was my thinking. Like I would have said, my thinking. Like who doesn't say that? I mean, do tell me if you do. We say my thinking, don't we? It's mine. Because there's a sense of it being in our head cavity, as you might call it, in our head space. It's in there. And it's not coming from out there, like it's not somebody saying something outside us. It feels very much to be part of us. But if it was truly us, then surely it wouldn't well, it wouldn't change. It would be just there all the time, wouldn't it? And you've probably noticed that sometimes that voice that says you're a fraud and you can't do that turns up, and you go, "Nah, I don't really care what you're saying. I'm going to go do the thing anyway." And off you go and do the thing. And you don't feel inhibited by it, and you don't feel stuck by it, and you can move forward despite it. And that's pretty much what I help my clients to do more of those things they really want to do, to share more of their authentic message with the world, to apply for that promotion, to ask that person out, to whatever it is, to do that thing, to expand into the truth of who they are, even when that voice is there. Because I have to say, and I do talk about this in my other content, that waiting for it to shut up, you will be waiting a heck of a long time. Like, you'll be waiting for the rest of your life. If you're trying to work on it, you're trying to make it be quiet, you're trying to force that, you will, I think, become quite tired quite quickly, because it's really hard to do that. And I know there's lots of teachers out there and people who, may have you some solution to the inner critic that you could look at, who will say, no, that is the thing to do. You must oppose it. You must use affirmations to get rid of it. You must work on it day in and day out. And if you keep doing that, eventually it'll be quiet. What I find about that is that just the more you focus on it, the more it's got to say. But how about just seeing it differently? Like, that's my thing, really, is what if that voice could be in your head telling you you're a fraud and you're a bit rubbish and people are going to find out you're rubbish, but you still did the thing anyway? That really that's pivotal. That's life-changing. And that's what I'm doing right now. Right now, you might be listening to this or watching this somewhere, but this video originally, this content was recorded live. And so that's what I'm doing. I definitely, at the start of this video, had a voice saying, you don't really know what you don't know what you're talking about. What's this subject you're talking about? But, and some doubt there, some self-doubt there. Of course that was there. There's nothing weirder than doing this. You have to look at your own face and talk. It's weird. There's no two ways about the strangeness of it. But when we just move forward and just go, right, okay, I get there's going to be a voice. I get that voice is probably going to bring about some discomfort in my body, but that's not me. That's not truth. That's not going to define me. Because I want you to know that you are something universal and expansive way beyond that. You are not that silly voice in your head. It's a silly voice, isn't it? I mean, I deliberately give it a persona of Niggly Nelly so we can literally point at it, laugh at it, and just go, why am I listening to the drunk old lady in the corner? Why am I listening to her? Mine is a her. Interesting that I talk to women who have male inner critical voices and men who have female inner critical voices. Really funny, isn't it? But we don't have to listen to that inner critic. We don't have to listen to that predictable BS when it comes up, when we go to do something. You're not a fraud. You're not. You are universal intelligence. You are love. And that's something I'm seeing more and more about this is all your ideas to do things, all your inspiration, all your stuff that is energetically grounded in moving you forward in life, it comes from a place of love. And that inner critic, that voice that says you're a fraud, comes from a place of fear. And do you want your life to be a life of love or a life of fear? It's that simple. It's really that simple. Which is it? Don't believe the voice that says you're a fraud. It's just a bit of old thinking. It's just a bit of old conditioning. It doesn't mean anything about who you are at your essence. To finish with a quote by Jack Pransky, which is, all you are is peace, love and wisdom, and the ability to create the illusion that you are not. It's an illusion. The inner critic is an illusion. So I hope you found that helpful. I hope that's helped you to do something today. Do something today that you didn't think you could do. Or rather, not you didn't think you do. The inner critic's telling you that you're a fraud and you can't do. How about just doing one little thing like that? And if this resonates with you, please check out more of my content. Please get in touch, and I can help you unpeel this a little bit more. Take care. Lots of love. Hope to see you again soon. Thank you so much for spending this time with me on Surviving to Thriving. I hope this session has been helpful. If it resonated, I'd love for you to follow me and maybe share this episode with someone you care about. Until next time, be kind to yourself and trust your inner knowing.